Second law of economics. The word economics is made up of two Greek words, oikos and nomos, house and law. Literally, it means the lawful ordering of a household, whether that household is small or large. Today's civil officials believe that through legislation, they can break these divine laws. I'm Gary DeMar, and welcome to this edition of Vantage Point. The second rule of economics is tan staffel. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. The first law is you shall not steal, even by majority vote. While something might appear to be free, education, health care, housing, there is always a cost to someone. Ignore this law and all economic hell breaks loose. Of course, politicians believe they can ignore and break any law. They believe that they can create economic prosperity ex nihilo, out of nothing, simply by legislating it. Most Americans don't care about these economic realities any more than the politicians who propose them because they are the first beneficiaries. For example, when Social Security was implemented, the maximum amount any one person paid into the system was $60 per year, a total of 2% from employee and employer of a maximum $3,000 per year. Today, the percentage is 12.4% on more than $100,000 per year. The Social Security Administration estimated that those born in 1877 and retired in 1942 got an average of 36.5% real rate of return on their contributions, while those born in 1950, me, will receive an average of 2.2% return. Those born in 1975 will get a return of 1.8%. It's even worse for future workers. The government should have seen this coming when Ida Fuller received her first Social Security check. She paid $22 into the program and received more than $20,000 in retirement benefits. In 1935, there were 45 people paying into Social Security for every one person receiving benefits. Today, that ratio is about 3 to 1. Social Security is a pay-as-you-go retirement program. Those paying in now are paying those receiving benefits now. Social Security works like a chain letter. Some people have described Social Security as a Ponzi scheme named after Charles Ponzi, a con artist who built people of a lot of money. How did he do it? He would tell people that he would pay them a huge return on their investment within a few months. Then he would take their money and pay off the previous investors. It worked great for the first ones to unknowingly get in on the scheme. Ponzi then used his early investors as testimonials to attract new investors. After a time, the number of investors ran out, and so did Ponzi with their money. Ponzi had worked the pyramid scheme. The people at the top, those who got in early, received the benefits that are being paid in from those at the bottom, those getting in late. The following appeared in People magazine in 1976. Social Security is a wonderful plan. People say it's going bankrupt. Don't believe them. It works. I know. My uncle reached 65 and he sent in the appropriate forms. In a week he received a wonderful letter. Dear Mr. Gold, welcome to the Social Security system. Attached is a list of 10 names. Just send $100 to each name on the list. Retype up a new list with your name at the bottom. But remember, don't break the chain. If a private insurance company operated this way, the directors would be arrested, tried, and sent to prison for a long time. Democrat fundraiser Norman Hugh was charged with a massive Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme is named again after Charles Ponzi, who was involved in this multi-million-dollar fraud where 40,000 people invested about $15 million. Now, this was in 1921 when $1 million was a lot of money. Obamacare, like Social Security and the worse-off Medicaid system, will generate buckets of red ink for future generations. Who will pay for this? The same people who are paying into Social Security to keep the program alive. You and I know them as the rich, who are already paying the majority of taxes. Hugh couldn't keep the scam going because he couldn't force people to keep contributing. Politicians can, by the force of law, force people to pay. Just try to drop out of the system. Bernard Madoff, former NASDAQ stock market chairman and founder of Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities, was arrested, charged with security fraud, and sentenced to 150 years in prison in what federal prosecutors called a Ponzi scheme that involved a fabricated gain of $65 billion. Ponzi, Hugh, and Madoff created investment programs that were little different from government programs. They went to jail because they weren't the government. In 1981, employees of Galveston County, Texas, chose to leave Social Security for a private alternative. At first, not everyone was in favor of the innovative idea. The unions naturally opposed it. Employees deposited approximately the same amount of money in private accounts. To date, the funds have achieved an average of about 5% annual rate of return. Many of those retirees are millionaires today, living off the interest and free to pass on their estate to their children. This can never happen under Social Security. Consider this scenario. Man and his wife have paid into Social Security since the first day they went to work at 15. 50 years of Social Security payments later, they both reach retirement age on the same day. On the way to the mailbox to pick up their first checks, they are killed by a drunk driver. Their estate gets nothing. The money is lost. Just because politicians can create economic programs does not mean they are ethical or that they will work. Putting people in power so they can take money from your neighbors to give it to someone else does not make it right, whether they are Republicans or Democrats.